Hello, welcome to Stampin' by Hannah. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for joining me on a Friday. I have changed up a Friday a little bit. I've been evaluating what I'm doing in my business over the past couple of weeks. And because I do run this as a business, any purchases you make through my online store do help me bring videos to you and do everything that I do here and over on my blog. So I've been looking at kind of ways to change things up a little bit because I've been getting a bit, not bored is the wrong word, feeling stale. So you'll notice if you pop over to my blog, things have changed a little bit. I've got a different thing going on a Thursday. I do Thoughtful Thursday every week, and Make It Monday is staying, but my techniques on a Friday I'm going to change up a little bit. So I'm going to just show you what I'm making in my craft room. So this week has been all about the Springtime Foils Designer Series paper. Oh my goodness, this stuff is beautiful. I do have a full video on this stuff that I have done, and I think went out to you on Wednesday, but as I film this, I'm coming down with a cold and my brain isn't quite working, so I'm just gonna, I think it's either the Wednesday just gone or the Wednesday coming. But this stuff is beautiful. Absolutely. Oh, it might have been the Wednesday before. That's how much my brain is currently working. It's lovely. It's slightly glossy as a card. It is thicker than standard weight Designer Series paper, which is why it's specialty. It is available for free during Sale-a-bration, which ends on the 31st of March. So if you want to get this paper, you need to spend £45 in my online store. Link is in the down bar below, and you can choose this gorgeous paper as one of your free gifts. This paper, this particular sheet, is my absolute favourite. I think that's gorgeous. I know people have been going completely mad for this paper because it is stunning, and I can see loads of fabulous projects with it. I have made this card with it this week, and I'm going to change it up a little bit and make it for you again with a slightly more masculine feel to it. So this is a little bit girly, but I've got the striped piece, because I don't know why stripes say male cards to me. I don't know. That's just my brain. And I've got a basic grey card base and a piece of lemon lime twist cardstock. So I'm going to layer it up, something like that. I'm going to just have a look at this. Does this happen to anybody else? Can you see that? Where it's cut, my trimmer's cut it, but it's sort of ripped. You know what I do? I come in with my paper snips and I very carefully cut along, and it will just come off. There we go. Oh, didn't get hold of it there. That is probably one of my biggest top tips. When you're cutting your paper and your blades are starting to go, the other thing that I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this is like a little lip on here. And I always have one of these. I always have an emery board on my desk, and I just take a little emery board for a rub, bit of a rub to it, and they will come off. So to make this card again, I have got my card base in basic grey. I've got a lemon lime twist piece of cardstock and my striped piece of Springtime Foils paper. I've got a scrap piece of Whisper White, and the stamp set I'm using is my stamp of the month for this month, and it is Perennial Birthday. Now, I love this stamp set. I might have to buy it again, because would you like to see what I did when I bought this stamp set? Yeah. I managed to buy the wood version by accident. Now, I have no problem with wood. I love wood stamps. I don't use them very often because I struggle to stamp with them. I think probably because I'm so used to using clear mount and photopolymer stamps. But getting placement is always a bit awkward. And I don't like the wood getting dirty. So sometimes you'll clean them and you'll end up with bits of ink. And I've got one. There, look, I don't like it. I don't like it when it gets dirty. So I might have to buy this stamp set again. I know that Stampin' Up would have exchanged it for me. But I just wanted to stamp with it and I didn't want to send it back. So I've got the wood mount version and I'm going to use this happy birthday stamp. So, first things first, let's colour up our Springtime Foils. Now this is slightly different from standard paper because it's a little bit shiny. It takes ink a little bit differently. So with this panel here, I've created a kind of ombre effect from blue up to the almost a very vanilla colour that this stuff is, using a sponge. So I'm going to share how I did that with you on this piece. I've got a sponge, my lemon lime twist ink. I'm just going to dab the sponge in the ink and then rub it across. Now, normally you would add more ink at the bottom and then kind of gradient it up, and that is fine, but you'll find that this paper, because it's that glossy surface, kind of the ink suddenly sort of stops sometimes and you end up with lines, and I quite like the look of that. I think that's quite pretty, but I can understand that some people might not like that effect. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rub ink across like that, and then once I've got it to where I want it, then I'm going to swirl my sponge, and that just softens the edges just that little bit to create that ombre effect. You're still going to have more of a line than you would on kind of standard paper, but less of it. I'm going to add more ink down the bottom as well, and that is our ombre sponge effect. The other way I have coloured this paper is by simply taking my ink pad, opening it up and sticking my ink pad all over it, and that creates a lovely, really vibrant effect that I'm not going to do here because I don't want to do it on this paper because it takes a little minute to dry. So while I've got my lemon lime twist ink out, I'm going to stamp my happy birthday sentiment onto this piece of whisper white. Now, if it was a clear stamp, I'd have cut this already, but because it's not, I haven't. I'm going to stamp that down there like that, and then I can go over to my trimmer and trim that off. So grab my paper trimmer, and I know that this stamp is about 3/4 of an inch tall, and that's what I've cut this one down to, but it's slightly wonky as well. Oh, let's just, because I've not stamped it very well. So turn it around the other way. There we go. And I'm just going to trim this off. And I will do this quite often with my sentiments, where I just kind of eyeball it. I'm happy that that looks okay. I don't mind that things are slightly off. I'm going to take my emery board to that, because as you can see, my blade is really in need of changing now, because I've got kind of scruffy bits all over the back. So once again, emery board over the back, just takes those kind of little bit bossy bits of cardstock off, and I've not cut that very well, so I'm going to take my scissors to that bit. Can you tell that I don't edit my videos? I think if anybody was editing, they'd edit those bits out, wouldn't they? So let's layer this card up. So I've got my card base. I'm going to pop some snail adhesive on the back of that piece of lemon lime twist. And then, before I stick the Springtime Falls paper down, I've got another Sale-a-bration item, which is the Shimmer Ribbon Trio pack. Now, this pack is 3 reels of ribbon. There is a Bermuda Bay ribbon, a Calypso Coral and a basic grey. And they've all got, they're ever so slightly shimmery. They're so pretty. And they're also available as a free gift every time you spend £45 in my online store between now and the end of Sale-a-bration on the 31st of March. They are so pretty. I've used the Calypso Coral one here just to create a little bit of interest on the front of the card. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing here with my basic grey. I'm just going to trim a length of that off. And my big tip for using ribbon is, let's just grab it. Oh, drop everything on the floor. My sellotape. So I am going to lay my ribbon onto my grid paper, because my grid paper has got straight lines. I'm then going to lay my piece of cardstock face down, about where I want it on the ribbon. And then I'm going to take a little piece of sticky tape, and I'm going to wrap one side over and stick it down. And then take the other piece, another piece of sticky tape, and pull that side tight and stick that down as well. And that means that I can then get perfectly straight pieces of ribbon on my project. So more snail adhesive just on the back of there, like so. Now people will be asking why I'm suddenly switching to snail. I think I've talked about this, but I'm not sure if I have here on YouTube or just out on Facebook Live. Fast Fuse, as much as I love it and I absolutely adore this stuff, it is retiring, and it is now while stocks last here in the UK. So if you love this as much as I do grab your refills really soon, because it will be selling out. So I've switched back to snail because I don't want you to want this and not be able to get hold of it. So I've switched back to snail until they tell us what they're going to replace it with, because I'm really hoping that they're going to replace it, because I love Fast Fuse so much. Right, last thing is to stick our sentiment on, and I've got dimensionals for that. So I've got 2 stamping dimensionals just on the back of my sentiment piece, like that, and I'm going to pop it off to one side there like that, and that is my quick and easy birthday card using the Springtime Foils paper. Don't forget, if you would like to get your hands on the Springtime Foils, it is available as a free Sale-a-bration item when you spend £45 in my online store. Link to the store is in the down bar below. Any purchases you do make help bring me more videos to you and help support my business, and I'd really appreciate it if you would consider using me as your Stampin' Up demonstrator. I think that's everything I've got to say today. I think that is it. Yes, lovely. Right, thank you ever so much for joining me here on a Friday. I hope to see you again soon. I have 2 videos coming out on Monday. One will be here for YouTube to see, and the other one will be, as always, my newsletter. Subscribers, if you want my newsletter, the link for that is in the down bar below too. I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.